we will get ready to start out. All right, then. We'll start out. Good afternoon, and thank you. We are here in part because I've been made aware that there are any number of instances of people either becoming victims of online scams or coming close to it, or of the greater need to be aware of it. So especially as over the last year, as more and more of our lives moved online, online scammers became more sophisticated in what they're going. So again, it became apparent that these aren't just princes from exotic locales asking for help, but more sophisticated options. So I reached out to JFS, who kindly responded, and Sharon Tassir is here to help us out. I don't know what I'm going to add other than that happens to anybody. Part of the idea is to share this information with others, because in the end, anybody could be a victim. I know people young and old who have been victimized by these sorts of things, and it's worthwhile being in touch so you know what to look for. Sharon, I have your presentation, so whenever you want, I get to I will. I'll set this. I'll show slides for you, and like I said, all yours. Do I get to? Wait a minute. There's a unmuting thing that needs to be going on here. I can't unmute you further from my spot. If you can do it, sorry, wait a second. From yours.
Okay. Better? Sorry about that. Okay. Thank you. Yes, I'm Sharon Chester from Jewish Family Service, and I agree very much with what the rabbi said. No matter how old we are, how long we've been working on computers, speaking on the phone, having interactions with others, we all could fall into the trap of scammers, unfortunately, nowadays. There's just so much out there. There's a lot of good, a lot of good, but there's also, unfortunately, there are bad people out there that want to take advantage of the good people. And so that's why we have to be more careful of that, especially now during the pandemic. I think people take advantage of people when there's a crisis going on. I remember with 9/11, after that, unfortunately, there were so many helpers helping people, but there were also people that were doing scams, and a lot of money was lost because people thought that they were going to the victims and to the families. And unfortunately, they lost lots and lots of money. So we see here too now during the pandemic, we're noticing that as well. So we just have to be very careful. So Rabbi, do you want to start? Okay. So, I would like to say that a lot of the information that I'm going to share with you today, I got from an organization called Betzedek organization, which helped Holocaust survivors in California. And there was a presentation done not long ago, specifically on this. And this, I felt like we could share a lot with the presentation that they did, as well as I got information from ARP and FTC, the Federal Trade Commission. Anyway, so we see here that during the time from January 1st to October 14th, 2020, this year, there was approximately 118,000 fraud reports. And it talked about all these $160 million that was lost. Now, obviously, these are the ones that were just reported. There were so many more. And again, like the rabbi said, we have to understand it can happen to anyone. And I will share with you that 2 weeks ago, I think soon after I accepted, to do this presentation, all of a sudden, I'm getting these scam calls, these emails from Amazon. They're telling me that someone, I think, purchased $1,200 iPhone on my credit card through Amazon. Is this correct? Press 1. If not, no. And I'm thinking, I just used the Amazon, I just, ordered something. Is it possible? So what I did was I began to press something. I began pressing the number. And all of a sudden you hear someone say, Amazon, this is Amazon, can I help you? And I thought something was off. I didn't say anything. I hung up the phone and I dialed back the number that called me originally. And it was like, hi, this is Kate. Please leave your number. So, right, we know that was something, that was wrong. That was a scammer. It happened again, also Amazon, really weird. I got an email, but something was off with the email. The English wasn't correct. It didn't say my name. It said, valued customer. It said, didn't say the credit card I used. It said a credit card holder. So these are all things that we're going to learn today that we have to be careful about, because that's going to give us like a red flag that we're going to know something is off. Okay, so in other words, if someone does fall for this, realize you're not alone, but we need to be careful that we don't do it in the future if we did it in the past. Okay, Rabbi. Thank you. So I'm going to go through certain items and then we're going to review it later on. So you're going to see, we're going to try to understand everything. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask me at the end as well. Okay, so what happens? Someone gets a call and sometimes either people pick it up or they don't pick it up. You can say, I'm not interested and hang up. You can say, I'm on the do not call list and hang up, or you don't even have to answer it. Most of the people say, don't even bother answering it. Unfortunately, if you don't know the number, don't even bother. And don't worry about being rude. We tend to be nicer people and we don't want to hurt people's feelings. You don't have to worry about this, okay? Unfortunately, we live in this kind of world that if you really don't recognize the number and, when you said hello, there's a pause, and you think there's like, it's going to take a while to come on. That's, you could just hang up, something's a little off. Okay, thank you. Okay, so this is something very important that scammers tend to do, that they'll ask you for certain information, all right? Do not give any information, okay? Do not give bank information, credit card number, social security number, Medicare number, passwords, anything like that if someone calls. One time, I remember years ago, got a call from someone who said, for your protection, I need to know your credit card number. This is the truth. This is the real truth. I need to know your, so we will have some kind of special, in case, because there are a lot of scammers out there. There are a lot of people that are going to, try to steal that information. So what I'm going to do is, it's really hysterical. I'm going to I want to take that number so you'll be protected. And I basically said, no, thank you. And I'm like hanging up the phone and you hear the guy yelling, oh, what are you, crazy? How can you not do this? This is when you see someone who gets angry, who starts, that's also another sign. You just hang up. Don't even bother, like I say, picking up the phone. But if you do fall, if you recognize you thought it was, someone that you knew and you happened to pick up and you began falling for it, just hang up. Again, this is a big deal. Remember that government organizations like the Social Security Administration or the IRS, utility companies, they will never call you or ask for your personal information, to threaten you or demand immediate payment. If you get a call like this, hang up. If you're behind in utility bills, believe me, you'll know it. You'll get something in the mail. They're not going to call you for any of this or abuse you over the phone. Once you see something like this, again, this is a sign, a red flag, you hang up. Next, please. Okay. So now that people are getting more savvy on the computer, we have to be very careful about fake emails. Okay. I'm going to go through this now, and then we're going to, emphasize it more as we go on. Beware of fake emails, telephone, text, and phishing scams. Who ever heard of phishing, right? This is a new thing. They're phishing for something. It's a scam. It's phishing. You don't click on leaks, the sources that you don't know. So sometimes people will get an email and it looks like very similar to an email that you know, but it might be a little bit off. Do not press on it. Do not click on it, because then unfortunately, material can come on the computer and there'll be a virus and it can ruin, and you have to get it all fixed. So this is something you have to be very careful about. It's called phishing scams. Okay, scammers use fake emails and text messages to get you to share information like social security numbers, personal login, IDs, passwords, things like that. They can steal information. Do not answer calls from unknown people. But again, the phishing, the emails, if something seems a little bit off, we got an email once, a colleague, and it looked off. It wasn't 100% the right email, but even so, it said, "Are you free? Can you pick up $600 in gift cards?" Now, we knew this individual would not ask us for anything like that. And like I said, the email itself was a little bit off, but you have to be careful. You don't press on anything like that. Something seems unusual for the friend that maybe you thought was emailing you, do not do anything, okay? Because that's a way that they can trap you and they can get into your computer, okay?
Those emails, by the way, have gone out over my name. Exactly the one that you described. And it's not that my email's been hacked or anything like that. Just somebody went around, and it was for many rabbis across the country and across New Jersey. Like, somebody went and collected rabbis' names, thinking that, what you said at the beginning, people would be good-hearted, and if the rabbi requested somebody to do it, so like, "Oh, could you pick up $600 in gift cards," or whatever it was, for the people in need? Do me this favor. I really appreciate it. So there was, so yeah, and there's nothing I can do about it because I don't know who it is, or if it's somebody within 1,000 miles of where I sit. But yeah, those have definitely gone out over my name. So be aware. They take all sorts of different forms. When I ask you for money, you'll know it. It's not going to be like, "Well, is this a fake email?" Like, this is.
Yeah. No, it's just a shame. Thank you for sharing. No, it's unfortunate. They're smart. These people are smart. They really are. But I believe we can be smarter. So, we just have to really be on top of it. But it's hard. Okay, so now with Corona, again, specifically because of the pandemic that's going on, now there's all different types. I mean, it was a little bit earlier, but even so, you still hear of COVID-19 testing and treatment products that are being around. People, especially before the vaccine is, more prevalent, that people are able to get it, but people are, still talking about these tests that people are publicizing, that they're false. They're not real. Treatment. If you have COVID-19, take this treatment, you'll feel better. Beware of fake testing kits, online offers for vaccinations. No, we have to, as we know, we have to register with the COVID-19 New Jersey and get on the list. There are different ways of getting on different lists, and we could talk about that another time. But no, people are not telling you, "Okay, I'll put you on the list if you sign up now." It does, you have to initiate and do that. do not buy medication for treatment online, or door-to-door salesmen. This has been going on too. People have been going around and making believe they're contact tracers, and they're saying, or they're wearing lab coats and they're trying to sell items, and they're knocking on people's doors. Do not answer doors. Contact your medical advisor for treatment and other information. Again, my heart goes out. Donations and charity scams. This is really terrible, but do your homework. Don't let anyone rush you into giving a donation. Do not give money via cash, gift cards, or wire transfers. Those are a big no-no to unknown sources, okay? Contact the organization directly to donate. If you know of an organization that's worthy, that you know is legitimate, you can contact them directly. Or to verify an organization, there's this website you could check to see if they are legitimate. Like I said, during times of crisis, we see wonderful people, like Mr. Rogers says, look for the helpers. We definitely see helpers out there, but unfortunately, we also see scammers. Okay, Rabbi, I think the next one. Thank you. So this is, again, talking about door-to-door scams. Imposters are reported knocking on doors and offering COVID-19 tests. The scammers claim all they need you to get the free kit and the number. Door-to-door contact tracing scams are on the rise. Contact your health for more information. The CDC is not sending people door-to-door to test for COVID. Okay, that doesn't happen. If a CDC impersonator shows up at your door, you close the door on them. No one should be showing up. Tax scams are also on the rise. Dishonest preparers pop up every filing season. You have to be wary of this. There are some people who are called ghost preparers, that they try to set up, help you with taxes, but they don't want to sign their name. That also is a red flag. You go to your accountant, someone that you trust, if you need help with taxes. Thank you. This is another thing, fake stock sales and purchases. Beware of scams. People are trying to say stock prices for products that can prevent, detect, or cure COVID-19. Okay, we don't have that. We don't have that. The only thing we have now is the vaccination, but we don't have these new products that if you take this medicine, you'll feel better. Nothing like that. Okay, this was going on a while ago, but we still see this counterfeit N95 masks and supplies. Some scammers offer in-demand supplies and sell fake products at enormous price increases. So what they do is they can get masks and they sell it more than 10 times the amount, and many times they don't even. People that fell for it, they weren't even able to get the items. So all these things are a no-no. Protect yourself, get a free credit. Okay, all right. Also, this is ways to find out fraud alert for your bank and credit card accounts, just to make sure that everything is safe and secure. Okay, next, please. Thank you. Okay, so we talked about fake emails, texts, and phishing, okay? There's such a thing now, I heard it's called smishing. Smishing, what is smishing? Smishing is texts. It's, what do we call the smishing? It's texting short message service, smishing. And they also try to get people, there are scammers that do smishing, not just phishing, but smishing, that they send out texts and they try to get people to fall for and give information. So, again, besides the emails, the texts, they're really trying to get all account numbers, social security numbers. Again, they're trying to take advantage of honest people in the world. And they can install, we talked about the ransomware and other programs that can lock you out of your data, and many times then you're unable to use your computer. Okay, next, please. Okay, so now we talked about robocalls, about that there are calls being made and companies, calls being made to, again, to get people to do certain things. And basically one is able now to get on the do not call list. And this is a number, one can do that. And now with with Verizon, they'll the caller ID will come up as fraudulent caller many times, or scams, yeah, a scam number. So you're able to tell possibly that it might be a scammer. So these are ways of limiting robocalls. One is able to do that on the next slide is going to show that one is able to do that with our cell phones as well. Rabbi, the next one I think will show us what to do with an iPhone to block calls using an iPhone. This is a way to do it. You could look on your device, whatever device you have, and you can actually block them from happening as well, or your Samsung phone. You just have to follow this. And these are ways of trying to prevent it from happening, to your cell phone. So these are things that are, again, just ways to protect ourselves. These are ways to protect ourselves. Okay. Okay. Again, I spoke about the door-to-door scams. They're issuing alerts for people dressed specifically in lab coats and masks, impersonating people from the CDC. And they're reporting knocking on doors and offering free COVID-19 tests. People will not do that. And anyone that shows up to the door, to your door, and saying that they're selling items, they're doing things for free, they're a contact tracer, not happening. No one is doing that. No one is doing that at all. Okay, you close the door and you call 911 essentially. Okay, thank you. Okay, so specifically protecting personal information, right? We have to be very careful. We have to be cautious of anyone requesting Medicare or Medicaid numbers, okay? Social Security numbers. Ignore offers or advertisements for COVID-19 testing or treatment on social media. Okay, a physician or other trusted healthcare provider should assess your condition and approve any request for COVID-19 testing if you need it. If you know a legitimate place that would do COVID-19 testing, that's something, you could consider. But again, anyone approaching you and offering things like this or asking you for information about, I need you to give me your Medicare number for doing something. If you're applying, if you're registering for, your vaccine in a legitimate place, COVID-19, New Jersey, COVID-19, the email there for that is something else. That is something to register that you need to fill out. That is something that, our governor has told us that is a legitimate place. But if it's a random person emailing you and telling you that you need to give this information because, to prevent you from getting this or having this, no, that does not happen. Again, do not give your personal or financial information to anyone claiming to offer anything like this, okay? Again, anyone offering you is different than registering for, for something. Okay, and again, okay, no problem. They will not ask you specifically for your Medicare, the legitimate, whatever you saw, the legitimate places will be very careful on what they will ask you. Okay, so over the phone protection. We talked about how COVID-19, as a result of everything that's going on, the scammers are specifically reaching out to people regarding this. we're saying that how scammers take advantage of people during crisis is true, but also when people are lonely, we're saying that, they're also able to get people that way. And there are a lot of scams out there besides just COVID-19 that will try to get people to provide information. We're going to talk about this a little bit, I think, in the next one, but it's specifically, we're going to talk about the grandparent scam that I think would be important to talk about, that many people who might have grandchildren and during this time could more likely fall for something like this. So on this one, we see here that it says someone calling from a bank, Social Security Administration, or a grandchild or Apple, hang up and call them back as a known number. Think twice before wiring money. Do not wire, do not transfer any money like that. The next slide, please. So grandparent scams in the age of coronavirus. So I remembered I recently shared with people about how in a previous presentation I did about how loneliness is a big factor now. And years ago, there was a study done in England of how significant a problem it was. And I think at that time they surveyed 200,000, more than 200,000 I believe older adults in England did not have any contact with a friend or a family member for more than a month. So that's pretty significant. That's pretty significant that I actually heard, believe it or not, that an older adult knew something was off with a phone call, but because she was lonely, she wanted to have that interaction, she kept on talking. And it's a shame. And you know what? It's really a shame. But these scammers know that sometimes if you put on, a face, if you act a certain way, if you talk a certain way, you might get a person who might be a little bit lonely, who might be a little bit isolated, to fall for something, more so now than ever before. So the grandparent scam in the age of coronavirus, we have it, so many times what was happening, and I know people that fell for it and they lost thousands of dollars. They would go, they would mimic, let's say, a younger person's voice. And they would say like, hi, grandma. They'd get on the phone, they would say, hi, grandma. And then the recipient of the phone call would think of if they have a female grandchild, a granddaughter, and they'll say, Kathy, is that you? And then, the woman would say, yeah, that's me, Kathy, get my help, help me. I had a car accident. I need you to transfer money quickly. And, the grandparent, thinks my grandchild needs money. How can I not? So these are ways that people can fall for it very easily. Now they're saying, hey, grandma, I'm sick in the hospital. Please wire me money right away. And as a grandparent, I can only imagine, how can you not want to, help out your grandchild? And what they do is many times they'll say, don't tell mom about this, okay? This is going to be our secret, okay? And so then that should also be a red flag. Why, when someone says, you need to wire me money right away. I got into an accident. I need to leave a country and they're stopping me. I'm not able to leave. You have to wire me money. I'm overseas. Help me. These are all things that should show you that there's something a little bit off. Their grandparent scammers pose as panicked grandchildren, trouble, sending messages, urging to wire money immediately. I'm in the hospital. I have to pay the bill. Help me, help me. Now, if people have Facebook, sometimes people can, I hate to say it, find out from their Facebook information a grandchild's name. So that could even make it easier, and we'll say, hi, I am. And that would be another way of doing it. So again, if someone will say, anyone says, urge to act immediately, that's a red flag. That you have to verify the caller's identity. Even if they say, don't call mom, don't call dad. No, it's, I don't want them to know. I don't want to worry them. They have so much going on, or please, I'm going to get in trouble. No, hang up and call them. You don't want to fall for it. Okay. Don't send cash, gift cards, wire money. All those are no-nos. Okay. Next, thank you. More than 2/3 of reported fraud attempts start with a phone call. Line scammers use, I can't believe you are missing out on this great deal. You're going to lose this deal if you don't act right now. You have to act right now, else this is it. You're going to lose it. What to say? Nothing. Hang up. Hang up on telemarketers. Hang up on them. Feel free to say no, or please do not call my number anymore. You could do that, but sometimes if you're longer on the phone, you could fall for more information. So again, the more that you either ignore it, many times people just ignore it, or if you think it might be someone, you say, many times people don't even say you should say anything. You should wait until the other person talks, because then you would know that it's not a telemarketer or not someone who might be scamming you at the time. And some people won't say, their name. They might just say yes, when they pick up the call, because then they're concerned if they're being taped and all that. So again, ideally, don't even pick up a call, or if you think you pick up a call, you can pick it up and you wait to hear if someone is on the other side, because many times it takes a while for them to even begin to speak. Okay, Rabbi, next one. Okay. So the main takeaways: be wary of anyone asking for money for coronavirus victims or for disease research, especially if they want prepaid credit cards or gift cards. Anyone that wants anything like that, no thank you. Ignore phone calls or mails from strangers urging you to invest in a new coronavirus stock. Okay, that's rampant also. You're going to have this deal. Come on, you're going to make money. Let's go. Come on, how can you not do this? Come on. And then again, if someone gets angry at you for not doing it, no. Don't click on links or download files from unexpected emails, even if the email address looks like a company or person you recognize. We talked about that before. That happened where I work, as well as the rabbi shared with us, with him, what happened that I guess at Temple Shalom and other temples around the country. Always check the from address. Make sure it's 100% the accurate. Even if it's saying a rabbi, or something like that, or president of the organization. But if it's at a Gmail address, if something's not 100% right, do not click on it. Mouse over links, to see if it's a suspicious email, and sometimes it will reveal the true destination. Sometimes if you use your mouse to go over the link, you'll see that it's not it's off. The URL, there's something off with it. Don't click on it. Do not open it. And, use also antivirus software and keep it up to date. That's important, for your computer. Ignore phone calls or emails for staging. We said that. Don't click on links. Okay. Be skeptical of fundraising calls or emails for COVID-19 victims or virus research, especially if they pressure you to act fast and request payment, again, by prepaid debit cards or gift cards. Wiring, transferring money from one account to another immediately, no. Gift cards, no. Do something immediate. Resist the temptation. Always verify what it is beforehand. I got an email recently from someone. I wasn't sure. I verified. I Googled. I went over. I called the agency. And did I look a little cuckoo? Maybe, but it's okay. I had to play it safe. I wanted to verify that indeed it was a legitimate source. Okay. And then Finally, okay, if you do have something happen to you, okay, reporting and resources, Federal Trade Commission, okay, this is the website to complain, to share with them information that happened. Even if you didn't fall for it, but you saw something was skeptical, you please forward information. National Center for Disaster Fraud, we have a telephone number for that. The FBI are also, looking into this, scam safety fraud for seniors. And you need the Department of Health and Human Services for COVID-19 health, care frauds as well. There's a telephone number for that. So these are places, people ask, so what happens if I get this? What happens? These are the ways to contact reliable sources. Again, reliable places to contact them when you found something awry and you need to report it. And again, we talked about all the fraudulent reports that were reported, and yet how many scams that were done that people might have been too embarrassed to report and didn't bother or things like that. So we're talking about a lot of money were given to scammers, and a lot of people, we're all human, have, fell for it. And we're, on some level, we're trying to stop it. But once money is transferred, it is very, very hard to ever get it back. And like I said, people that I know who lost thousands of dollars that way, they were unable to get it back. They got the police involved, but they wired money to another country, and it was too late at that point. But I hope this might have helped anyone. Does anyone want to share possibly anything, any questions or any concerns that they might have, or they wanted to share any experiences, whatever they feel comfortable?
Yeah, I do.
Yes, please, Joe.
I have a smartphone, and if I don't recognize the number, I'll let it ring through, and I just let it go. Sometimes they will leave a message on the voicemail, and if I could see that, I'll listen to it, but I won't call back. Now, question, by my listening to the voicemail, I'm not making any connections, am I?
No, not at all.
And
that's a good idea.
There is one other one I want to bring to your attention because I've seen it. I've posted it in the automobile business. We've seen it. If a woman in particular gets into a car at the mall, at ShopRite, Wegmans, wherever, and you get in the car and you notice a sticker on the back window, your tendency is to get out of the car and go to the back window to look at it or rip it off. Do not do that, because somebody is watching you. They'll jump into the car. The keys are in it. Your wallet's in it. Your credit card numbers are in it, and they'll take the car. And they're not really interested in the car. They want everything that's left there. So if perchance you ever get into the car and there's some sticker on the back window or on the back of an SUV, don't get out to look at it. Drive away, because somebody's watching you and they're looking to get what's in the car. I'm done.
Sharing that. Thank you. Thank you. Again.
I've got a couple for you.
Sure.
I like to play with them if I happen to get on the phone. I haven't done it for a while. But I had one recently, a couple of years ago. Cousin Bob sends me an email saying he is on a business trip and he forgot to give a present to his wife's something or other. Mm-hmm. To which I wrote back, she's an only child.
Very good.
Tom Malinowski's mother was scammed, but he found out about it before the banks opened. So with the power of a congressman, that transaction was found out. And there are some good YouTubes on playing with some of those, of taking their scam and making it blow up for some fun.
I would not want to do anything with fun. I try to avoid it as best I can.
Excuse me, but my husband does that. When they call call, he says, "This is the county morgue. Do you have a body for me?" And they hang up right away. Then he also, with his Social Security, he says, "This is the FBI."
Right.
And then,
Yeah.
Very good, very good. Yeah.
They won't
run
call
the
you
other way.
again if you tell them it's the FBI or you tell them it's the medical examiner's office. They won't call back.
Good. No, I'm happy to hear. Good.
Yeah.
These are good. These are interesting ideas, interesting stories. Interesting. No, but you're right. You have to be careful. You have to be careful. And you're right. I mean, interesting, Joe, what you said about the car situation, about that's another way of, taking advantage of a
anything
good
to beat-
person, a kind
Yep.
person.
They look for anything to beat you out of
Yeah.
whatever they can get. And to me, it's very, very sad.
It is.
Whatever you have, good, bad, or indifferent, you don't know. I mean, I get probably 10 to 15 pieces of mail a day from charities, almost every single 6 days a week. My mailman laughs at me, but he knows. But if it's a charity that I've used before, my wife and I have a system. We could look it up. When was the last time we wrote a check to St. Jude's Children's Hospital? Or when did we send a check to this one or that one? We can look it up, and some of them are scams. Going back a couple of years ago, I remember a yeshiva in Lakewood looking for money, and then they got caught that they were scamming the money. The rabbi was scamming the money because he had 9 children. And guess what? No yeshiva is going to get money from me if you're doing that. And if I go,
Of course.
it's a
No,
shanda.
it's a shame.
It's a
Yeah,
shanda.
no,
To
it's
me,
a shame.
charity is very important, very, very important. Stuck it
Yeah.
to me is I give whatever I can and more, but
No,
I
you're
won't put up with a
1,000%
scam.
right. Yeah, you have to be.
This is Sheila Frank talking. Go back to the supermarket parking lots. Another one, like he said, a sticker on your window. But in the supermarkets, especially at the times when older people go to the markets, they seem to gather at a certain time of the day, in the morning or late in the afternoon. And
Mhm.
if there's a bottle of water left on the top of the roof of your car,
Don't get out of the
put
car.
out to go it. Just drive away. The bottle will fall off. It doesn't matter. But don't get out to get that bottle, because when you're getting out, it's the same thing that Joe had said.
Yeah.
They're in
Yes.
your car and they have your bag or whatever you had and they're out the door.
Yeah. It's going back a couple of months ago, that business with the sticker was very, very prevalent. Not only in New Jersey, it was in New York, it was in Florida, it was
Mhm.
everywhere.
Everywhere.
And I don't remember who sent it to me or whether somebody from the auto industry sent it to me, but they warned us, be very careful. Let people know, do not get out of that car, period.
In each instance, it seems a matter of being aware over our gut reactions on things. It's true for the ones that have just been mentioned. But especially, I feel like the one that seems most effective is where actually we started, when Sharon mentioned when they're doing a fake fraud report. Did you buy this? And then there's a reaction to get defensive. Oh, I didn't. I'll check this out. So again, checking your first reactions on things seems to be the first place to start. Always know that your first reactions can't be trusted, or that somebody potentially is looking to take advantage of it. This it's hard. It's hard to be vigilant all the time. But that, Sharon, I just want to say that was, I think it was really helpful. And I very much appreciate the information and the effort.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure to be here, and good luck with everything. And let's hope and pray, this pandemic should finish its course. It should be over, and there should be more honest people in the world. But we're going to be very vigilant until that happens, until a better world.
Or be convicted and put into jail or whatever, and not released. I mean,
Well,
Shonda,
right.
it's terrible what's going on in this world.
Until Eliyahu Hanavi comes and clears that up. I think he's scheduled for a couple of weeks from now. But
Can I quote you?
When he comes knocking on the door, look through the peephole first.
Don't answer. Don't answer without knowing. He's going to ask for
Funny. That's good.
information.
That's
He's
very
going to ask. Did he ask for questions? Did he have to fork up? Don't answer.
Yeah.
Unless you know which Navi it is. So again, thank you. It is a matter of having a sense of vigilance. That's the other link to Pesach. It's Leil Shomrim. It's a night of vigilance, and that goes through because we're trained to act a certain way, and we're socialized to act a certain way, and the best scams prey on those. So I'm going to share that. Sharon, I want to thank you. I'll be able to share the recording, but thank you. And thank you to
Thank you very
JF